As summer begins to say her goodbyes, the universe calls for balance. Across different cultures, the fall equinox is celebrated as a time of harvest and joy, a moment to pause before the gripping hands of winter take hold. From the Greek goddess Demeter's mourning for her daughter to the crowning of the harvest queen of Dojniki, we explore the lore and traditions of the autumn equinox. Welcome to Who Are You? Curious Stories of Family Lore. I'm Weetzie,
And I'm Sam Ivy.
and happy premiere day.
Dude, happy fucking fall equinox. I was about to say the summer solstice.
Happy summer solstice! We are from the past. Just kidding. Happy autumn equinox, fall equinox. We wanted to it's Wednesday before the premiere, and per tradition, Sam hacking up along in the background,
Don't mind me getting a character.
as is tradition, as is tradition. We're like, you know what? We have some cool episodes coming your way, but we wanted to just take a minute and be like, hey, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
The audio the audio on this is probably going to be better, by the way. But thanks for being here. Oh, hey, Luna.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of the fam. I hope you want to keep on, tracking along. Enjoy the episodes.
Yeah. So we were like, let's take a moment to explore the autumn equinox and talk about our traditions too, because we're going to be exploring our family trees and we're going to
Traditions.
be traditions. Um, And a lot of word of mouth too. So lore that maybe not necessarily can be traced, but you can find, references to it. So that's kind of the angle we're taking with this, where we're going to look into how this is celebrated across many different cultures. What's some like stuff that you've done, man? Like, is there anything you do
I
in the
mean, like,
fall?
besides, like, the community standards of, like, Thanksgiving and prepping for Halloween and stuff like that. Like for me, like I definitely am one that like likes to lay my crystals out and like soak up like the moonlight of like the fall equinox and all about setting up the water and getting the water like just kind of traditional like pagan I would say like
Hmm.
type deal. I'm more about balance and earth and grounding and just
Well,
refreshing the cycle.
that's perfect. That's exactly what the equinox is. And so I thought I'd start off with a little bit of science, and I say very like it's science, quote unquote. It's just talking about what like the word equinox. You mentioned balance. The equinox is all about when night and day is at a balance. It's when the tilt of the earth is just so that technically speaking, the amount of daylight is equal to the amount of darkness. And I think
That's cool.
yeah, it's really beautiful. It's like the day is the exact same. There's this equal playing field, this
hmm
starting anew. And so there's equinoxes, and the one happens in the fall, and the other equinox happens in the spring. And then you have solstices. And I never knew really the difference between equinox and solstice until I started like looking at crystals and astrology and I would say pagan like and Wiccan
hmm
beliefs. And I'm not saying that I'm pagan or Wiccan, but I definitely honor a lot more of my ancestral roots that predate
Yeah,
Christianity's
like the
introduction.
traditions.
Yes, exactly. Those ancient traditions that like course through your blood and your bones, and you long for them, and so you don't
hmm
even realize that you are actually participating in ancient traditions that like that's something that I've learned about. I actually just we're gonna talk about it a little bit. I used to make dolls when I was a kid. Around the fall, I would take corn husks from
Yeah.
like corn and the ones that were dried out. Like we would go to farmers markets and get like I hate what we called it. I don't know what to call it now. The colored corn, the different color corn with all like the
Yeah.
yellows and blues. We called it Native American corn, but like the controversial
Yeah.
way because we didn't know that it was not the right
Yeah.
way to say that. But the husks from that, like I would take those off, I would make dolls. Um, and then around Christmas time, I would make yarn dolls and hang them on the Christmas tree and put them in like every room, and they would be out of colors that symbolize the holiday. But there's a I forget in specifically where, but in the Americas, one of the early traditions, and I don't know if it was the colonizers' tradition after they came over or if it predated, but
Yeah.
they would create dolls and they would burn those dolls on the winter or sorry, the fall autumn equinox
Yeah.
as a way to like honor the harvest and to prevent, a frost or to just ensure that next year's harvest would be beneficial as well. But
Okay. That makes
just
sense.
stuff like
No, and
that.
that's yeah.
Um Also, the tilt of the Earth has to be exactly as it is at 23.5 degrees for us to experience all four seasons. If it was any other degree, we would not experience all four seasons. So we wouldn't have, the two equinoxes and the two solstices. So you can sit here and you can tell me that this is science and that, whatever. But what are the chances of that?
Mm-hmm.
That we exist in such a way, and then because of that degree, that very specific tilt, all of everything I'm about to share was created from this. It's
Okay.
just
Starts with a tilt.
so um that's really it though. Like traditionally, I don't know, other than like what you were saying where you decorate, not decorate, but you have the altar piece, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, my mom, when I was a kid, she didn't necessarily have like a centered altar,
Yeah.
but candles in almost every window, putting leaves and acorns and potpourri and dishes
Mm-hmm.
out, creating a very specific space, changing out colors, so changing out pillows for fall themed pillows
Yep.
and reorganizing the space to represent that kind of changing of the season. There was also a visiting of like graves,
Mm-hmm.
of going and visiting graves that we didn't get to. We would do it more on Memorial or Labor Day and Memorial Day, but some of that kind of led over and into the fall.
I
So
got you. It's another way for you guys to honor those.
yeah, yep. And that's also true with a lot of these other traditions. So, we're gonna start our journey, and this is in no specific linear order of time or region. I just kind of am gonna talk about them in the order of discovery, if you will. So, the first one is the Moon Festival of China. And I just think that sounds so cool. The Moon Festival. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go. So, the Moon Festival is basically this giant celebration that takes place during the harvest moon. And the harvest moon is the full moon that occurs closest to the autumn equinox.
Okay.
And they would make, like, basically, if you were to find yourself in China during the Moon Festival, you would see streets lined with those glowing lanterns of all different shapes
Yeah.
and colors, like floats. Think of like parades just happening at all times. And then moon cakes. These moon cakes, oh, I wish I should text you. We have to figure out a way for me to be able to text you things as I'm talking about them so you can look and comment on them. That's something
Okay.
we'll have to figure out. Because these moon cakes, imagine like these little pastries that are shaped like moons, but
Yeah.
they have really intricate designs on them, and then they're filled with either lotus seed paste or red bean paste or some other sort of sweet filling
That
that
sounds delicious.
yeah. And what is really, I think this is such a cool part of this. Traditionally, the moon cakes would be cut by the eldest member of the family and passed out according to age. And it is supposed to represent unity and carrying on tradition and honor. And it's just,
It
that's
has a
so
beautiful
cool.
meaning behind it as well as being a beautiful pastry.
Yeah. And apparently a lot of people get married during the moon festival in China. I guess that's
Okay.
like a pretty common thing to see like crowds of people all getting married, not together. Like they don't get
Yeah.
married as a crowd. They each individually like they get married, you know.
They have their
But
own ceremony.
yeah. So colors that are commonly seen are like golds and reds, and those are the main ones I saw. That's not written anywhere. I just like observed when in my research, I was like, there's a lot of gold and red. So I'm sharing that information. Um, if I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know. The only reference of color I saw were like the lanterns would be like every color.
Yeah.
So, so that is China, and that's kind of fun. Um, this next one isn't as fun. So I'm gonna kind of also like jump. It's not terrible, but it's like kind of crappy. But we're gonna end with the worst one. But this one is like not as fun. So we're moving on over to Greece, and
Okay.
we are going back to ancient times. So like we're talking goddesses and gods prancing around, doing their Greek god and goddess stuff, up and
Okay.
above and below and like all over. So
Hercules, Hercules.
yeah, and he is actually not a part of this lore story, unfortunately. And he might be Roman. I don't know. Maybe he's
Ooh.
Greece. I
I
actually
think
have
it's
no
Disney
idea.
Hercules,
Me
so
too, and that is my only reference. I actually have no idea where he falls into the real Greek. I think it's Greek. I think you're right
I
because the
think it
pillars
is.
and the little
Yeah.
wings on the feet, but you know exactly what I'm
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
do. I do.
Luna
You're
does
talking about
too.
like fucking Archimedes or whatever the fuck his name was, like the little guy
Oh
that's like
yeah.
the messenger. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm
Yeah.
going, I'm going, I'm gone, babe.
Yeah. I heard his voice in my head when you said that, like with yours. Like he said it like over your voice. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So this one takes place in ancient Greece, and apparently the fall equinox, that day of perfect balance, is supposed to it represents, the culmination of all your work, your hard work all summer. And this is kind of
Yeah.
universal. So kind of stepping back for a second. It's represents the hard work of your crops all summer. This is the day where you're going to find out, are you going to survive through the summer, et cetera, et cetera. So this turning point, you celebrate if you reaped a good harvest.
Yeah,
If
if you
you
reach your
didn't,
goals or not. If you're not, you're gonna be freaking starving all winter.
yes. So this is the day that Hades came up from the underworld and stole Persephone from Demeter, who is her mother, the goddess
Yeah.
of winter. I think the goddess of winter.
That
I'll
sounds about right
explain.
from playing God of War.
There it is. So you know this. You know this lore better than me.
A little bit, a
So
little bit.
you get this. And if there's anything that I'm missing, chime in. Like
I'm basing my knowledge off video games, so I don't know how historically
Uh,
accurate that
that's
is.
your source. We'll sort it in well, it'll be in the show notes. We'll sort that there. Whatever. If that's your source, that's your source.
PlayStation 2 God of War.
There it is. That's whatever. That's fine. That's, better than Wikipedia. So, which is not what I used. I avoided it. I wanted to, but I didn't. Um, so Hades comes up and he steals Persephone, and Demeter's like, that's crappy. And so she like basically was like, well, nothing is gonna grow anymore, and I'm not gonna let the ground be penetrated with seeds. It's gonna freeze over like my cold, angry heart because you stole my daughter. Which like, okay, Hades, you don't just go around stealing goddesses to
Yeah,
basically
just because
enslave
you
to be your
don't, because you
wife.
want love. Yeah, like, no.
Obviously something was wrong with you to need to steal a goddess. Wow. But he is the god of the underworld, so like that's kind of his
And he
job
got
is
and
to
he
not
got
be
fucked
good.
over too when he got his role. Like he didn't choose that. He was Zeus's eldest son, and technically, or not Zeus's, but he was fucking. I can't remember their dad's name, but the one that ate all his kids, but Zeus.
Oh my gosh, oh
Um,
my gosh, oh my gosh. I know this from a painting from art history. Oh my gosh, I can see it. He's eating his sons. I can see the painting. It's
Yeah, because that
vicious.
was his whole background story.
It's
But basically,
absolutely
Hades is the
vicious.
eldest son, so he's older than
Okay.
Zeus and he's older than Poseidon, and he technically got the
Oh,
like shit end of the stick.
okay. And then I apologize, Hades. You still should not be stealing goddesses,
Oh
man.
no, 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 that does not justify it at all. But
Yeah, little turd. But I mean that sucks for him too. We're trying to be
he was lonely.
compassionate.
He was lonely, and
Compassionate.
no one was gonna willingly just go to freaking the underworld.
Yeah. So, well, because Demeter was like, I'm gonna do all this, the underworld was like, you can't do that. Like that's kind of we need balance. And she's like, I don't care, you took my daughter. So you're like, okay, fine. We will send her back up there dr- at the spring equinox.
Yeah,
And then Demeter was like, okay, well, until the spring equinox, nothing's growing up here. And that is how you get the two
because she was only allowed to
equinoxes.
be up there for a certain amount of time of the year,
Hmm.
right? Like, and then she'd have to go
Yeah.
back.
Yep, exactly. So that is why the fall equinox kind of marks the beginning of Demeter's mourning. So that
Okay.
sucks. Yeah, but at least, Persephone gets to come back. But still,
And at the
still.
same time, it just created more balance. You can't have constant just shit growing and growing and growing. Like, there needs to be balance. The world needs time to
Yep.
replenish itself at the same time.
Yeah, the world needs to sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
so in Demeter's pain, there's healing.
Yep.
So it's all about balance. So that was the Greek lore of the fall equinox. This next one is Stonehenge, and this one I had no idea about. And this one's just a quick one, just a cool little fact. Every
Okay.
year, yeah, every year pagan and non-pagan, but like maybe like Wiccan visitors and also just locals and Christians and from really all different, but mostly pagan and like Wiccan,
Yeah.
Celtic based, um, travel to Stonehenge the early morning of the fall equinox at dusk to watch the first autumn sunlight hit the Stonehenge because it creates a calendar. So it's the first, fall light leading to the like the shortening of days.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool thing that people travel from all over the world just to go see that
Well, I mean,
on
the fact
Stonehenge.
people still to this day, and I think those that are traveling and seeing it, that are seeing it on the fall equinox, like, don't know that history behind it, like what they're actually being a part of when they're there.
Yeah. And I wanted to kind of look up like, okay, why Stonehenge? Well, I don't know much about the history of Stonehenge. Truthfully, I've heard about it. I know that it's unknown. People are kind of unsure what those, oh yeah, I said it was like a calendar that's been speculated. It's really nobody actually knows what Stonehenge was built for. But the the celebration of the fall equinox can be traced or it's referenced in Mabon or Mabon. I'm not sure how to say that, but that is a pagan celebration, a pagan holiday.
Okay.
And the name comes from a Welsh god, the Welsh god Mabon, spelled Mabon, son of the Earth
Okay.
Mother goddess. And this is a kind of a Celtic name, but it can't necessarily be traced back. So somewhere along the lines, this name was attributed to the pagan culture of celebrating the autumn equinox and creating like an altarpiece. And
Okay.
and there's a lot more to it that I'm not very familiar with, other than creating altar pieces and setting up. Or there's like certain like rituals, cleaning, cleansing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the name, that's what that name is from.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Now in the United States, some interesting fun facts. When the English settlers came over and they began to celebrate Thanksgiving. Nowadays we celebrate Thanksgiving towards the end of November. That's like the harvest is done. All the
Yeah.
crops have been reaped. There's nothing left at that point. It's
Yeah, you're
all
supposed to,
dry.
enjoy the benefits of your bounty type deal.
Yeah. The original Thanksgiving that was celebrated with the indigenous peoples and the English colonists. I don't even know what they were called. I don't know what I should call them. The people in which came over on boats. Um,
If you listen to fucking Pocahontas, they're called fucking. I don't know. I can't remember. I remember them
me
calling the
either.
Indians savages, and then I can't remember what I
Yeah.
just know.
Such a problematic Disney film that I loved. I dressed up as Pocahontas. There are pictures of me and I'm like, burn them. I'm
Colors of the
telling
Wind, baby. That is my shit.
oh, it's such a good and the tree, the grandma tree.
Grandma Willow.
Oh, oh, it just oh my gosh. I love willow trees because of that. Oh my gosh.
Same.
Amazing. But the original Thanksgiving was celebrated on October 3rd, so pretty close to the autumn equinox. And symbols of the harvest, which you would find both on the table of a early Thanksgiving celebration or a pagan altarpiece, would be things that are in season, like apples or
Yeah.
blackberries, corn, acorns, leaves, nuts, other
Like when
things
you
that
see
are
like the
in.
cornucopia fucking filled with like all
Yeah,
the fruit stuff. Yeah.
exactly. So the second to last one I have is in Japan. And this is actually not just in Japan. I found this was like in a lot of Western cultures and in China too. China has the Moon Festival that we talked about.
Yeah.
But Japan has this celebration that happens during both equinoxes, and it happens 3 days before the equinox and then the day of. And it's really beautiful. It's called Higan, not really sure. It's Higan. This is a
Okay.
Buddhist celebration. This is where they believe those 3 days before the equinoxes, where the earth is in balance, they believe that that is when you can, like, you have, how did they word it? How does it word it? It's so beautiful. Oh yeah. These are the days where the afterlife can be found.
Yeah.
So those are like the days where you go and you pay homage to your ancestors and you decorate their graves, you clean their graves, you leave offerings, you light them up, you spend time with them.
I mean, it's similar to like our belief that like on Halloween the veil is like its thinnest. It's the thinnest for them at that time.
Yes, exactly. And I just think that that is so there's just something about that, the way that it was worded, the days where the afterlife can be found. When
Hmm.
I read that, this is gonna make me like want to cry. When I read that, I imagined a curtain like opening up by itself from both sides and seeing my mom standing there
Yeah.
waving. It's like what as soon as I read that, I'm like, oh my God, I just saw my mom. So,
No,
uh,
100%, dude. And I
yeah.
feel like
So I
too,
just
like
think
that's
that's
another
beautiful.
reason like a lot of people get more emotional around this time too. And like they feel things harder like every year if you notice. Like, yeah, granted depression season's starting to kick back in, days are getting shorter and all that shit. But like if you look at it from like the Japanese or like you said the Western culture's perspective, like the veil's the thinnest. Those who are the most sensitive to this and might not realize it or, pay mind to it are the ones that are gonna be having the most fucking, feeling it harder without,
Hmm.
because they haven't come to realize that that's what they're feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. So I believe that that could definitely, like, I believe that. And I was thinking the other day, like, I know that the the autumn equinox is Monday, and right now it's Wednesday. So, but I kind of feel like there's been a pull this whole week. Like, I
Oh,
felt really
100%.
connected. Like, I've been thinking of my mom. I've been thinking of my mom's brother, my Uncle Jim, who died. It'll be a year in November that he passed away. So it's like, I've been thinking about them, but it's like I feel them.
You feel like that
It's
heaviness.
yeah, oh my God. And the other day, my son, I'm not gonna say his name, but my son, he said out of nowhere, Papa Jim's dad. see Papa Jim's dad? And I'm like, what? And he goes, I see Papa Jim's dad. And he's under 3, just so everybody knows who's listening. And I was like, you see Papa Jim's dad? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, what does he look like? And he goes, he's happy. And then changed the subject because he's under 3. But I was like, what? And that Papa Jim's dad would be Grandpa Franklin, who you will learn about in the next episode, the official first episode, because this is another bonus. At least, the first story
Yeah.
besides these, the first family lore story. So, yeah.
No, that's wild, dude. Little bean freaking being able to say that shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. The veil is thin right now, and I do think I feel it around Thanksgiving too. And I don't know if it's because the energy, because if there's a thing, I think like if everybody feels a certain way, enough people feel a certain way, there's an energy that gets pushed into existence that
Mm-hmm.
fuels that feeling. That's why when
100%.
there's a lot of hate and there's a lot of racism, there's a lot of acceptance of things that shouldn't be accepted. More people get brave. More people they're like, that's fine, that's fine. And that energy gets fueled and it gets
Yeah.
fed and it gets bigger and bigger.
Well, it gets manifested, whether people are speaking it out loud or not. Like,
Yeah, it's true. The thoughts, your thoughts have echoes, they have waves just because we can't see them. And
yep.
that's why I even try to just think nice things. It doesn't always happen, but like there's definitely truth to that. So if we're all thinking about our loved ones, and there are a lot of people who are practicing their beliefs around the fall equinox, so people who maybe aren't as in tune still feel it, and they don't even know why. It's because other people are doing the work. Other people are
Mm-hmm.
building raising the vibration. And I've always believed that we all contribute to the universal vibration because we are all one. And that's why we should just all get along and love each other.
100%, dude. Like, you might not like everybody, but everybody matters.
And that's true. They all matter. This one, this speaking of mattering, this next story is one that I think you'll like. It's not the last story, it's the second to last. It's quick. This one's quick, but this one's really cool, and you've probably heard of it. But it made me think of it. I
Okay.
was like, I can't wait to tell Sam this. All right. It's true. So this next one is the Mayans,
Okay.
what they created. And I'm going to try really, really hard to say this. This is located in Mexico. Chichen Itza. I am unsure how to say that. And that was I tried really hard.
What's it spelled?
It is spelled CHICHEN space ITZA.
Uh, I think it's like Chicha on eats something like that. I don't know.
Anybody wanna just, shoot us an email, let us know, comment on the Instagram post. I'll probably post on
Send us pictures
TikTok.
of you're there.
Yeah. But I will type it out. It will be on the Instagram post and TikTok post. But this is a pyramid, and it's a pyramid of stairs, and they go up each side. And it is on the fall equinox. What
Mm-hmm.
happens is as the sun is rising, the way that the light hits it and the way that the stairs are lined up from the side makes it look like a serpent of light is slithering down the stairs. And then it gets to the bottom and it has the snake head.
Yep.
And it's said that as the sun sets, the snake is this this is the Rahu, Rachu demon is the name of it. Rachu, I believe. Again, I'm really terrible with these names. The other the other name for it would be Kukulkan. Kukulran, Kukulran or Rachu. So
This sounds
after
like
the
Pokemon.
snake
Sorry.
I know, I know. That's what I was thinking too. I'm thinking like
Yep.
Raichu. Oh my gosh.
Alright, sorry,
I don't know.
continue.
You're good. You're good. Uh, where was I?
The snake going down, snakehead.
I also scribbled. Like I scribbled, so these notes are terrible. Once the serpent of light slithers down, all the way down, it hits a pool of water that it needs to pass through before heading into the. It needs to be cleansed before it heads to the underworld. And I'm just like the idea of a serpent of light that is Rachu, the demon. Oh, the demon who causes eclipses by swallowing the sun and moon.
Okay.
That's what that demon guy, that serpent with feathers, a feathered serpent of light, Rachu, a demon who causes eclipses by swallowing either the sun or the moon, depending on the type of eclipse.
Okay.
It's like that's like beautiful
That
visuals.
reminds me of like
Like,
Yu-Gi-Oh lore.
ooh, maybe it's rooted in maybe Yu-Gi-Oh is rooted in some of that.
I mean, they do have a
So
lot of like that Egyptian fucking Mayan type like stuff in the show. And I do believe they have like
that's cool.
Ra, the sun god, and like a couple others of like cards and stuff.
That's cool. I remember Ra now that you say that. That's why when I learned about that being the sun gods, I was just like, oh, I must have learned about that in school, but I can specifically remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Like
Hmm.
that animation happening with that character. There's like a scene because I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! There was like an animation and it was on the same channel as Digimon. I used to hate Digimon, but I would wait for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like
Yep.
Digimon's
My
fucking
dad used to tape record the
like Digimon are fucking posers.
Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital masters.
And I was like, Digimon fucking suck. Because I liked Pokemon, and I was like, okay, what are these stupid little fricks? And then as an adult, when Digimon was explained to me, I'm like, those sound fucking sick.
Yeah, but
So
as a
I
kid, you
regret
just
my
saw it as like
decision.
Pokemon knockoffs.
Absolutely, I did, and I was very, very hell-bent on not fucking with Digimon. Stupid. I hated the animation. I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I hated it so much, but unfounded. Anyways, our final little story here. I wanted to end with like a cryptid.
Okay.
So we're gonna have some spooky episodes. It's not all about spooky. It's not all about true crime and bad things. But there are going to be things like that.
Like the Equinox, life is balanced. You got the good and the bad.
Exactly. And now we've had some good. We've had some cool. Now we're gonna have some not so great. Some a little bit mischievous cryptid here that is rooted in English folklore. Our last Equinox tale takes place in England and Ireland and it's referenced in other places randomly, but these are the main ones. So, this could be considered the Equinox monster. Um, and I'm going to absolutely, oops, I hit my mic. I'm going to absolutely butcher this name as I have been. What I won't what I won't butcher is how Samhain, Samhain or Halloween.
Yeah.
This little critter we're about to talk about like terrorizes all around all the way to Samhain. And Samhain or Halloween in Ireland they call it Samhain. So we're gonna talk about the goblin of the equinox, the puka. He's bad. He's bad. He's puka. What?
Rather that name, the Puka. I was
Yeah, he's
expecting something a
puka.
little bit more like terrifying. Instead of being like, oh look, it's Puka.
Well, like he is pretty, or I don't know, he, she, they are terrifying. but they don't have to be. Is the thing. It depends. So it's spelled P-U, but the U is like a on it, so I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but we're
Uh-huh.
gonna say puka. They are a goblin who is known for spoiling, mostly known for spoiling things like blackberries. So, like, if your blackberries spoil early, uh-oh, there's probably a puka about. He or they are probably, there's probably pukas about, and they're going to absolutely obliterate you and your whole entire family. Maybe. So you'll see a lot of fires around the autumn equinox, a lot of fires to ward away the pukas. They don't want the pukas, so the pukas are afraid of fire. They're like, fuck that, and they leave. So if you want to
Ergo,
save,
traditions of bonfires.
that's, yeah. Because there's so many other like traditions we didn't talk about, but there are festivals and bonfires. And in Poland, I didn't mention this, but you mentioned bonfires. In Poland, I did want to say, um, there's a festival, the Dojniki, where there's like a harvest queen or the most honorary member, but they'll like bring all of their final harvest out to like a market on the street and they celebrate and then they like declare a harvest queen and then they have fire and they burn certain things as like mock sacrifice to have a good
Yeah.
harvest next
Honor,
year.
tribute.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of burning of things to show sacrifice around other cultures. The other thing I forgot to mention is that Oktoberfest is an ancient Bavarian festival that's like the last week of starts the last week of September, but that started as like a way to honor the harvest and it just turned into like a big drinking festival. But ancient Bavaria or Germany. But those are just like two little fun facts I forgot to mention. Back to the puka.
That's tight.
But yeah,
Puka
that's
puka.
cool stuff. The puka's pretty. The uh the thing about this little thing is it shapeshifts, but it shapeshifts and it has ill intentions most of the time. It's not usually around for good stuff, but like sometimes it will be nice. Like depending on if you sacrifice things for it or like light fires and burn things, but you have to burn things in honor of it. Uh, it can bring you good
Yeah.
fortune if you're nice, or it will bring you bad fortune if you're not. It just also sometimes depends on its mood because it's mischievous and it really naturally wants to wreak havoc. Sometimes it just won't, but most of the time it wants to. It can shapeshift, but only into the following things, this very specific list. It can shapeshift into horses, goats, cats, donkeys, bulls, dogs, foxes, wolves, and rabbits. But you'll know if you're looking at a puka because the animal in question will be jet black, like a silky jet black. And they'll be red
Okay.
eyes. So be jet black with red eyes. Horses, they look like the black puka horses are so sleek, but their manes are like wild and crazy, like completely opposite of their
Okay.
super sleek body. When they're in human form, because yeah, they can also be looking like humans, but they're not that good at it. They kind of suck at going into the human form, so they're gonna have like animal characteristics. So you might meet somebody who has the eyes of an animal and super slick black hair and maybe walks funny, like something will be off, or they might smile like a
Yeah.
fox. Like you'll be able to
I get you.
see, those characteristics and the jet black features. Eyes might be red. There might be like the black part of the eye might be red. Uh, Creepy. Don't want that. They're gonna try to entice you. They're gonna try to like trick the shit out of you, whatever form they're in. If they're in a human form, they're luring your ass to a trap. You like don't go near them. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they entice you. The only information I was able to find about how they entice you is if they're a horse, because they love being horses. Apparently, I don't know if it's necessary. I don't want to speak for them, but it seems like it's their favorite. But maybe it's not. Uh, they want you to ride it. They like want to entice you to ride it. So I don't know if they're like being a big like a black horse and they're just like whipping their tail and like smiling at you, or like what they're doing to entice you to ride them, or like
Yeah,
neighing at you. But somehow the horse entices you to ride it. Maybe they hypnotize you with their glowing red eyes. I'm not totally sure. But if you do decide to get on the horse, they're gonna lead you into a shit show. They're gonna buck you around. They're gonna make you hit trees, and they're going to also entrance you into a stupor. So they make you feel drunk, and then when you wake up the next morning, you're in a lot of pain and hazy. Like you think, did I drink? Like they really just fuck you
yeah,
up and leave you in bad shape. Sometimes with like pretty serious internal bleeding, broken limbs, like stuff that you don't want to wake up to, you know? Also, it's nice to have your memory.
fair enough.
So, on the flip side of that, so there's two other things. Like, on the flip side of that, sometimes, like, they'll just help farmers make sure that their crops are good, make sure that they have a good harvest, and so they'll help. And
It depends on what puka you're getting.
that's exactly correct. But they're also known to hunt and kill humans at their leisure. And the way in which they hunt them is by playing sick fucking games until they're dead. And that's all I know. I don't know exactly how. I don't want to know. Uh, all I know is they can be scary or they can not be scary. So it depends on their mood. That's the puka. Um, and that is English and Irish. And so we learn about my grandpa and stuff and the English lineage a little bit. So that's how that ties in. That's the autumn
Hell
equinox.
yeah, dude.
But that's all the stories I have of the fall equinox. And do you have anything you want to add or
No, you
mention?
definitely. I mean, you enlightened me to some traditions and some like folklore I had no idea was there, and then you opened up some forgotten memories of stuff I didn't know that were traditions, and make me look back on like what we all do. Because at the end of the day, whether we know why we do certain things or do certain traditions, whether it's lay out your stones or sit around a campfire or things of that nature, it all has some underlining meaning and some underlying history and story. It all has some type of legend behind it and reasonings why.
Yeah. And it's just cool. It's cool to learn about some of those traditions and like you said, like relate it back. So
Speaking to the fam too, like if they have any traditions that they want to share with us, hit us up. Tell us what you guys do that's special or unique to you and your family, or whether it ties into what we just talked about, or it like, gives us something
yeah.
else to research.
Or if we like made any mistakes or
Yeah,
missed things too. Like if you email us or message us on Instagram, next time we record, we can like correct it. So
100%.
and address or also share stories. It would be cool to be able to collect stories, but we'll see if people listen. Who knows? So,
If you made it this
but
far,
yeah,
I
we
appreciate it.
yeah, it's been a few minutes here, so hopefully you will be back and you'll listen to the next episode, which is we're gonna have a guest next episode, and he's pretty great. You'll find out. It was recorded before this, so the audio, and it's also it's a live recording, so we were all in a room together. So, you
Should
know,
be interesting.
bear with us and just enjoy. You get 3 episodes this week on Monday, today, quote unquote, the day this is being released. This is like a bonus
Yeah.
episode. So this is just extra. But then there's also the episode with Lou and Did Grandma Kill
Yeah.
Grandpa is the name of it. And then on Wednesday will be the After Hours with Ghosts, where
Yep.
we talk about ghost stories. And then Friday is where you'll get Knock Knock Part 1, where you learn about encounters people have with death
All right.
in our family. And Pants will be next week. So then after that, it'll be every Friday. So just a bunch of episodes this week, but then next week it'll just be every Friday.
We're
Every
just
Friday,
we're
one
excited,
episode.
you know. We want you guys to hear the
So,
stories. We want you to be part of the fan.
anyways, you should never stop asking yourself, who
Who
are
are
you?
you?